Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Mid-Card Mess podcast. I am your host, not one, not two, but all three faces of Jamal, and this is your wrestling news for the week. Well, for today, we're 3 days strong, going 365. We're 3 days strong, 3 days in. I'm going to keep counting them down so that way I can remind myself and also you, the audience, that, we're just going to continue to keep the ball rolling. We're going to get it popping, and that's all that I got to say about that. Today's episode is featured for TNA Wrestling. They are on the road to Genesis, and this is going to be their first big pay-per-view of the new year. 2025 is going to be an astounding year for all pro wrestling. I cannot wait. I'm really, really, really excited, especially everybody coming out of the TNA group. We got former Dolph Ziggler, who is Ryan Nemeth. We got the tag champions. The Hardy Boys are the tag champions. Masha Slamovich, who I've been a big, huge fan of since I first saw her wrestle out in Battle Club Pro Wrestling. Shout outs to the Jabberteers podcast and Battle Club Pro over there. So, it's just a whole bunch of outstanding talents. We got big returns out in Impact Wrestling. Tessa Blanchard is back. Moose doing the damn thing as the TNA X Division champion. Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz are back doing the damn thing. So, I'm really excited to see what TNA Wrestling has up their sleeves coming up in this upcoming calendar year. But before I get to TNA Wrestling that happened yesterday, I want to quickly touch on the card of Wrestle Kingdom 19. Wrestle Kingdom 19 is going to be tomorrow morning. That's going to be, I'm just going to explain my timeline. It's going to be at 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. Pacific time. So for those out on the West Coast, it's going to be 12 o'clock in the morning for you guys, and then for me it's going to be at 3 a.m. I'll be at work, so I'll be able to maybe catch the whole damn thing and keep me up. So the matches that they have for Wrestle Kingdom 19, there's going to be a New Japan Pro Wrestling Rainbow Battle Royal, which is akin to the Royal Rumble. It's a Royal Rumble match, and it's also now they got rid of the King of Pro Wrestling World title that has been abolished. There's no more King of Pro Wrestling Championship, as that's a title that Okada made a couple years back. Nobody was really jacking it. I mean, they have had good matches, and it was an interesting concept, but it was just not gonna hold weight and stuff like that. Excuse me. The winner of the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rainbow Battle Royal is going to be slated for a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. So that is why that match is going to be important. These are going to be the guys that have not been, that's not on the show, that's not on the card. So it gives somebody new, which I've been clamoring for years, gives somebody new opportunities. So everybody that's in that New Japan Pro Wrestling Rainbow Battle Royal is slated to get a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match. The next match I want to talk about is a match I'm actually looking forward to. It's IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match. Kevin Knight and Kushida versus Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, who is going to be part of TMDK. You got United Empire with TJP and Francisco Akira, which is, part of United Empire. And then obviously my boys, I'm a Bullet Club guy, so Clark Connors, Jilla Maloney, them boys is back. Let's go. I hope they end up winning that match, but that's just me being biased. But I think everybody here in this match has a good opportunity to win the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships, but we shall see. I've seen stranger things happen. Also on the docket is going to be IWGP Women's Championship with champion Mai Iwatani versus Azumi. And Azumi is really coming to her own all of last year, wrestling some of the best female wrestlers out on the planet. I don't want to get into that resume of 2024. I want to focus on 2025. Can Azumi get the job done against Mai Iwatani, who has had an incredible last year? Let's hope that, I just can't wait to see that match. And then whoever comes out on top of that match, don't be surprised if we see some AEW flair or somebody from Pro Wrestling Noah, maybe some Stardom action. Who knows? Maybe we can see AEW Women's Champion or somebody maybe from WWE perhaps, but I doubt it. But we shall see. There's just more to that match than just the IWGP Women's Championship. So then you have a fatal four-way match for the NJPW World Television Championship. You got Ren Narita, the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion, versus Jeff Cobb versus Ryohei Oiya, and also the returning, coming back from getting his cancer-free, El Phantasmo. And that's going to be for the I keep saying IWGP, New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship. It's the television title of New Japan. Personally, I want El Phantasmo to win this, even though, Ren Narita with the House of Torture, Bullet Club type thing, I'm a big fan of everybody in this match. Ryohei, part of the TMDK, Jeff Cobb, part of United Empire, El Phantasmo doing the things for New Japan, and he's fresh off of cancer. So what a wonderful cap it would be for El Phantasmo to win this match. Hopefully, that's going to be a good match as well. I mean, look at the names. Jeff Cobb, Oiya, Narita, it's going to go down. Then you have the boss, really, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace, who needs to pack it the fuck up. I keep telling people, I've been telling Tanahashi to pack it up for years, but he's going one-on-one with Evil. Of course, I'm going to root for Evil due to the House of Torture, Bullet Club alignment, stuff. No, I'm being biased, but I don't care because I need Tanahashi to pack it the hell up. And even if Tanahashi wins, please let this be your last Wrestle Kingdom. Don't come back anymore. Just let everyone else do the damn thing. You've done enough. You've been the ace of New Japan. It's time for a new ace. So that's what I have to say about that. Next match on the docket is going to be a match that I'm really, really looking forward to with two of the hardest hitting people in wrestling. You got the never open weight champion Shingo Takagi versus the AEW International Champion Konosuke Takeshita. And Takeshita is willing to put his international championship on the line, so this is a title for title match. And seriously guys, I cannot wait for this match to go down. Can Konosuke Takeshita defeat Shingo Takagi? I mean, he's done it already in the G1 Climax. We've seen it. We've seen it. We know what time it is. So, I just really looking forward to this match. If you want a hard-hitting match, that's probably going to be the match of the night, if not the world title match. But I'll get into that later on. The next match on the docket that I have would be the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship with the champion who surprised us all last year. Doki is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and he's going against one of the greatest IWGP champions of all time in El Desperado. The student versus the teacher. We will see how it's going to go down. So let's see with the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Shout out to Doki for being the champ. Then you have the IWGP Global Champion, which is David Finlay versus Yota Tsuji. And Tsuji is really trying to get a strong, what I'm saying, he's trying to get a stronghold on the landscape of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, him being part of Los Ingobernables de Japón, that is going to be a match that I'm willing to see. Can David Finlay hold it down? And can David Finlay hold it down? Basically, he's the leader of the Bullet Club, so we will see how he leads the troops. Let's see if it's all Bullet Club night type shit. Anyway, Then you have a faction versus faction type deal with Hiromu Takahashi versus Tetsuya Naito. Now, this is a match that I thought that we were going to see a long time ago, like 2 or 3 Wrestle Kingdoms ago, when Hiromu Takahashi was the IWGP Junior Champion, and then Tetsuya Naito was the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So, like, this is going to be a match. It's more of a pride match. This is a junior versus a heavyweight. I don't know if he switched over to heavyweight or not with Hiromu Takahashi I'm talking about. I don't know if he switched over to heavyweight, but this is a classic case of junior versus heavyweight matchup. And I'm really interested to see these guys tear it down. And then finally, you have the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The champion, finally, Zack Sabre Jr., the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, part of TMDK, versus Shota Umino, who is Red Shoe's son. But Shooter Shota Umino, he's got a lot to prove. This is his first main event at Wrestle Kingdom. This is Zack Sabre Jr.'s first main event. This is the first time in a long time that I've seen 2 different names other than Naito, Tanahashi, Kenny Omega, or Okada. This has been 7-8 years that one of those guys have been the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So this is really a new beginning for freaking New Japan Pro Wrestling. I'm really excited for Zack Sabre Jr. to continue his reign, but Shota Umino is right on the cusp, and he can shock the world by beating Zack Sabre Jr., one of the best, if not the best, technical wrestler in the world today. So that is my Wrestle Kingdom preview. I hope that you guys are going to be ready. Remember, it's going to be live on New Japan World for like $9 if you want to watch it there. Also on Triller TV. It's going to be at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. Pacific. So go peep out Wrestle Kingdom. All right, now moving along into TNA Impact that happened last night. We start off the first TNA of the new year, and basically Joe Hendry comes out. And Joe Hendry, I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, man. Joe Hendry is got his eyes set on being the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But as you know, Nick Nemeth is the world champion right now. So, he came out, he gave his little speech. He was just like, how we believe, and I hope that you guys believe, and at Genesis, that he will finally become world champion. As he was giving his speech, Nick Nemeth's brother, Ryan Nemeth, comes out. The Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth comes out, and he just starts berating Joe Hendry, and then freaking, dissing him, saying that his big brother's gonna whoop his ass in long term. And the long and short of it is that he said that his brother's gonna whoop his ass. But then Ryan Nemeth has a match with Rhino that he's gonna beat him later on tonight. Joe Hendry calls out Rhino so that way Rhino could handle business, and then they had a match. So Rhino versus Ryan Nemeth, and Ryan Nemeth actually wins this match, but it's not how you guys think. So during the middle of the match, things are getting heated and everything like that. Rhino went back to his ECW days, got the chair, and cracked Ryan across the back with that steel chair. So disqualification win for Ryan Nemeth, but he's going to take that win to the bank. He's beat TNA Hall of Famer, so it is what it is. He's got the W. That's going to be the gist of that. We cut over to Gia Miller, who's in the back, and she's gonna talk to Jordynne Grace about what happened at Final Resolution when Jordynne Grace was attacked by the returning Tessa Blanchard. And Tessa Blanchard just returned to Impact Wrestling. There's a lot of people upset about it because of what she's done in the past, but we'll see how that all turns out. But for the most part, Jordynne Grace was like, Tessa is not going to come up in here and unroot and unearth everything that she has worked hard for. So, she may have done the women's division in the past, but this is the women's division of now, and she'll be waiting to give her the warm welcome that she fucking deserves. And she's going to go after Tessa whenever she gets a chance. In the back, the Rascals talk about, they want an opportunity at the TNA World Tag Team Championships, and they can't believe that the Hardys, who they were their idols growing up, so this is Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, they were saying, hey, can we get a shot? And the Hardys come by, so Matt and Jeff, they come by, they were like, hey, the Rascals remind them of a young Matt and Jeff Hardy, so, why not? The Rascals, the Hardys, tag team titles on the line at Genesis, so go peep that out when it comes down time. Two of the best people in junior heavyweight or X division that you'll ever see is Kushida taking on Ace Austin, and Ace Austin and Kushida have a fucking solid banger of a match. Like, I didn't expect that match to be as long as it was, but, I didn't even expect Ace Austin to win. I thought Kushida was going to win that match wholeheartedly. But in the end, Ace Austin hits the fold and puts Kushida away. After he put Kushida away, he tried to share an emotional moment in the middle of the ring. He was talking about how Chris Bay was still on injury and how Chris Bay told him to go on one hell of a singles run. And basically, Ace Austin claims that he was going to take aim at the World Heavyweight Championship. So he was going to look for the TNA World Championship. But then Moose's music hits, and then he comes out. He's the X Division champion. He's like, hey, the world title is not the top title because I'm not the one holding it. I'm holding the X Division championship. So then basically Ace Austin told him, hey, motherfucker, look, I'm a 4-time X Division champion myself. If you want me to remind you how good of an X Division champion I am, I'll fucking challenge you. So he'll be looking to become a 4-time X Division champion at Genesis. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I believe in him, but we'll see. Steve Macklin, Eric Young, Jonathan Gresham, they were in the back getting beat the hell up by the Systems, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and JDC. They were just they were beating the hell out of each other at the back. This is just a wild, Wild West moment type stuff. So they go to the back. As you can see, after the backstage confrontation, Santino Marella makes a tag match with Nick and Ryan Nemeth versus Joe Hendry and Rhino, because they were talking shit in the back and all this other stuff. So basically Ryan Nemeth got Nick Nemeth caught up with this tag team match with his number one contender and also Rhino, who he defeated. The next thing that happened on Impact was Mike Santana. He came out and he's basically saying how he got robbed of the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match, and he wants to become the number one fucking standard in TNA Pro Wrestling. But then he's interrupted by Josh Alexander, and basically Josh Alexander and the Armory came out, and they were just like the Northern Armory. They came out and surrounded him, and they were like, yeah, you can't beat us. You're not the standard. I'm the standard. Josh Alexander for a long time has held down TNA as the Impact champion, the heavyweight champion for a minute. And Mike Santana says, look, I don't give a fuck. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your boy's ass. I'll beat your boy's ass. And basically he said that he will do a low gauntlet and stuff like that. So he doesn't care. So he'll face the two boys from the Armory, and then Josh Alexander probably next week. Is gonna happen next week. So we then cut to Santino Marella in the back going to those weak ass security guards, and then basically told the security to watch out for Tessa Blanchard to see if she won't ruin the 8 knockout tag team main event match. So it's going to be Jody Threat, Danny Luna, Masha Slamovich, Jordan Grace versus Tasha Steelz, Rosemary, Ash, and Heather by Elegance. So that was the big match that's going to happen. Then they cut to another scene where Leon Slater and Frankie Kazarian is in the back. Frankie Kazarian basically tells Leon Slater, he's like, look, you can follow me, follow my footsteps. I'm a TNA alum. I'm a TNA OG. You can follow me. But Slater basically is like, look, I'm trying to make my own path. I'm trying to freaking, be on my own tip type stuff, and I don't need your help. And Kazarian obviously didn't take that to heart. So, maybe there's going to be a little feud there. We'll see. I mean, Frankie Kazarian does have a call your shot trophy, so he can call his shot at any freaking time at the world title that he wants. So, we'll see. Yeah, man, then they cut a promo for Genesis, which Genesis is going to be on January 19th. The main event obviously is going to be Nick Nemeth versus Joe Henry for the TNA World Title. There's going to be Moose versus Ace Austin for the X Division Championship. The Hardys versus the Rascals for the Tag Team Championship, and so much more. And it's probably going to also be Tessa Blanchard versus Masha Slamovich for the women's title, but it could be a triple threat with Jordynne Grace. We don't know yet, but yeah, we'll see. But Genesis is going to happen on January 19th. I will be covering that as it happens, so be on the lookout for that for the Midcard Mess podcast. The Knockouts had their 8-woman tag team match, and it was a really, great, this was a great main event, way to start the new year, showcasing the Knockouts women's division as a whole. Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat are the Knockouts women's tag team champions. So, it was just a big, great showcase of what all of these women can do. From Masha to Jordan, Spitfire did their thing. Ash and Heather by Elegance did their thing, formerly Dana Brooke. Heather Brookside as well. Rosemary and Tasha Steelz, it was great to see Tasha Steelz back. It was great to see Rosemary back. So they did their thing. They really, really had a great match. And if you want to go peep it, it's on. You can follow This Is TNA for little clips of the match, or you can go on their YouTube channel and then see the whole match as a whole. But in the end, the Knockouts World Champion, Masha Slamovich, Jordynne Grace, and the Knockouts Tag Team Champion, Spitfire, defeats Tasha Steelz, Rosemary, Ash, and Heather by Elegance. And, they, after a hard-fought match, that's what they did. But after the match, Tessa Blanchard fucking blindsides Jordynne Grace and just mollywops her shit. Just boom, mollywops her shit. Rosemary fucking sprays mist in the eyes of Masha, while Heather and Ash by Elegance assault and beat the hell out of Spitfire. So, when I tell you Tessa Blanchard, dog dragged freaking Jordynne Grace out of the arena and tossed her outside, and she just basically slammed the door on her head and shit. She was going crazy, going wild. And then she's like, I'm just gonna take my fucking division back. Fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna take my division back. And then that's when TNA Impact goes off the air. Great to see TNA showcasing women in the main event. I'm actually really excited to see what Impact or TNA has to offer later on in this upcoming year. I'm very excited for the Genesis pay-per-view on January 19th. Yeah, man, it's just a wonderful thing. Also, since I'm on the topic of TNA, they do have a help support Chris Bay, because they have a GoFundMe for his injury, trying to get him better and trying to get him some surgery and stuff like that. So, you can go on TNA merch, buy an ABC shirt. You can buy a Chris Bay shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. You can get a Major Bendy figure from the Major Bros, little podcast type deal. And then you can also support his music and other merchandise. He's on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you can find music. He's on YouTube and all that stuff like that. Let's try to, give Chris Bay the support that that is needed for his recovery. So, and with that, I'm going to call it, and I will see you guys on the next one. Remember, New Japan Pro Wrestling is hosting their WrestleMania, which is Wrestle Kingdom, tonight. Well, it's tomorrow morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, but if you're going to watch it, go ahead, Wrestle Kingdom 19 tonight or tomorrow morning. All right. With that, I'll see you guys on the next one. I will be doing the review, not the preview, but the review of Wrestle Kingdom 19. And also I will be doing a review of SmackDown as it happens. This is the first SmackDown of the new year, so I'm pretty interested to see what's going down. Obviously, it's going to be like a go-home show for the Raw on January 6th, so we'll see if they do anything different tonight. So go ahead and watch SmackDown tonight, on the USA Network. It is on the USA Network. It ain't go nowhere. It's on network cable television. So we'll watch SmackDown, get a little New Japan going on, the WrestleMania of New Japan, and be on the lookout for an episode every single day. I will not stop. We're going to do 365 episodes. This is not going to stop. All right. Three Faces of Jamal signing out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.